Hi, everyone. Nick here with Dos Mocos News through Dos Mocos Podcast. We have some headline news for you today. Little Tay death was a hoax. What is up with the MPC TikTok craze? And Tyrese Gibson may be suing Home Depot. More on that later on this program. Little Tay, her death was a hoax. With Lil Tay, there's a TMZ article that says Lil Tay, Meta helped get account back from the hacker. Apparently, Lil Tay committed this hoax of her own death to try and get back her Instagram account from a hacker that hacked her account. Lil Tay gave an interview with TMZ saying Lil Tay really did have her Instagram compromised by someone who's used the page to falsely claim she was dead. Meta tells us they helped her get the account back in her hands. There has been serious doubts about the social media personality's story after it turned out this week's shocking news of her death was all a hoax. But a spokesperson for Meta says Lil Tay is being truthful about not being able to access her Instagram. It is with a heavy heart, and this is a deleted post from one of her accounts. It says, "It is with a heavy heart that we share the devastating news of our beloved Claire's sudden and tragic passing. We have no words to express the unbearable loss and indescribable pain. This outcome was entirely unexpected and has left us all in shock. Her brother's passing adds an even more unimaginable death to our grief. During this time of immense sorrow, we kindly ask for privacy as we grieve this overwhelming loss. As the circumstances surrounding Claire, who's Lil Tay, and her brother's passing are still under investigation, Claire will forever remain in our hearts, her absence leaving an irreplaceable void that will be felt by all who knew and loved her." It says, remember, Lil Tay's fake death was announced Wednesday morning on her Instagram, with the statement saying her sudden and tragic passing was an unbearable loss and claiming her family was in complete shock. It appears the alleged hackers didn't stop at social media announcement. Before the ominous post Wednesday, TMZ, who we're reading this article from, was contacted by someone claiming to be the rep for Lil Tay's family with a full press release and said she and her brother had died at her mother's home in Vancouver. But when TMZ contacted police in the Vancouver area as well as family members, everyone was totally in the dark. They also say that Lil Tay's family, they said that she gave us a statement from her Thursday, which said she was very much alive and that my Instagram account was compromised by a third party and used to spread jarring misinformation and rumors regarding me, to the point that even my name was wrong. They also thanked Meta for helping to get her Instagram account back, and the phony death statement has since been scrubbed. A Meta company spokesman confirmed Tay's account, telling us they did help her get her Instagram back from the hacker. So, a lot of people are claiming that this may have been a publicity stunt to get her or to bring up her famous celebrity status back. If you're not familiar with Lil Tay, she is controversial in being a foul mouthed young teen, or was a young teen, who claimed she had all this money, Ferraris, all these nice cars and houses, when she's not even old enough to retain a driver's license. So she had friends in high places in the social networking status, like Jake Paul, that Catch Me Outside Girl, and a bunch of others. She's basically somebody who's stunting for fame. And she has been recognized by the masses because that's where the world is going to today. And yes, it definitely was a hoax. And with me saying with the masses and where our world is going to today, that leads us to the next topic. And for a more ridiculous topic, here's the new TikTok NPC craze. The picture to the right of this video is of the new crazed person on TikTok who does this NPC thing for money. She goes by Pinky Doll. She has broke out as a TikTok star, TikTok sensation, all because she acts upon the requests that you send to her. You have to follow her page on TikTok, and you have to watch her live stream and chat in her chat. And every emoji that you post in her chat, you have to pay for, and that's paying her. They can go from as little as 1 cent and a maximum of $500 per emoji or per request. She does all kinds of silly, stupid things, and apparently is making upwards to $15,000 per live stream. This is ludicrous. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with what an NPC is, well, it's non-player character, non-playable character. Basically, you know, somebody that, a person with no ability to think for themselves, a sheeple, have you. Originally referring to opponents of former U.S. President Donald Trump to some people, to others, it's Joe Biden now. But, NPC as countable and uncountable, plural NPCs, role playing games, video games, um, initialism of non-player characters, internet slang, figuratively, a person with no ability to think for themselves, a non-player character. And people are all over this trend. There are a ton of different people, male and female, mainly female, um, who, at least from what I've seen, that are taking over this trend on TikTok. And I'm about to play a video of hers to show you how ridiculous this is. But all these stupid trends, they just need to end. There are, I mean, sure, spend your money on what you want to spend. Do the time and what you want to do. However you want to spend your time is however you want to spend your time. You got OnlyFans, Omegle. You're watching this news program. That's fine. I currently am not making any money off of this. I'm not monetized yet. I'd love to be. That'd be great. But I also feel, in my opinion, unbiased opinion, the things that I talk about and do hold more relevance and a better entertainment than what she's doing on TikTok. I've seen a handful of these videos of her and different other people, and it makes me feel like I'm brain dead. And I think that's what the point of it is. And also, there's got to be some sort of fetish behind it too. People are probably getting off on watching these, what some people would say, beautiful women on TikTok or other people do the commands that you command them to do, and they're paying for it. It's kind of like those. I guess they're still around, and I remember I'd hear about them, those sex chat rooms or whatever. People would go in and pay or tip women to go on, strip for you or commit sexual acts, and people will get the rocks off that way or whatever. This is probably just the new legal every age form of that, and it has taken over. But here is a short video of Pinky Doll doing the NPC TikTok craze.
Take your CR, take your Kiki. Ice cream so good. It was you, Max, Pop, amazing. Ice cream so good. Ice cream so good. Take your CR, take your mustard. Ice cream so good. Take your Sky, got money. Wow, I got your name. Beautiful gift for you. Take your Heaven. Ice cream so good. Take your Ash, take your Tania. Ice cream so good. Take your Saturn, yes, do your thing, do your thing, huh? Woof! Take your Noel, take your Yayita. Yes, popcorn, yes, popcorn, yes, popcorn, yes, popcorn. Oh, take your Sky, I love.
Absolutely crazy. And now in news with Dos Mocos podcast, we have Tyrese Gibson, better known for his roles with the Fast and Furious franchise. Tyrese claims that he says, I struggled with suing Home Depot. It is my Disneyland. Apparently, according to Tyrese Gibson, he has been going to the specific Home Depot to renovate his home, do other projects at his home, or what have you, for the past 10 years. And what we are led to believe it is in Atlanta, Georgia, where he is, and is doing his home renovations. Another report from TMZ, it says Tyrese Gibson says he's all torn up inside about the $1 million lawsuit he filed against Home Depot because the home improvement store is a happy place. The Fast and Furious actor was at LAX when a photog asked him how he's holding up after suing Home Depot, and Tyrese explained why it's hard for him to pull the trigger. As crazy as it sounds, Tyrese says Home Depot was like my Disneyland, estimating he spent close to $10 million there over the last 2 decades, which made suing the corporation all the more difficult. Remember, Tyrese is going after Home Depot in court because he believes a cashier racially profiled him and his Latino crew members because she wouldn't allow them to use his credit card to buy supplies. Tyrese, he says he hasn't heard a peep from Home Depot since he posted video of the store interaction and filed the suit. And he says it's just one of those reasons he's thinking of taking his business over to Home Depot's biggest competitor, Lowe's, which reminds me of a joke. How many Lowe's could Rob Lowe rob if Rob Lowe could rob Lowe's? Anyways, it continues. It's interesting. During the Home Depot incident, Tyrese name dropped the company's CEO, threatening to have him call the cashier because they are neighbors in Atlanta. But Tyrese says the CEO has clammed up too, despite their supposed friendship. Tyrese, despite his reservations, he's going through with the lawsuit on behalf of all the people who claim they have been racially profiled in Home Depot stores across the country. And he says the lawsuit is not a money grab, but a tool to make a statement. For Tyrese, it sounds like the defining moment of the whole fiasco was when his crew member was brought to tears by the treatment in Home Depot. Tyrese says he's standing up for minorities everywhere with his suit. So I have seen the the videos. I've seen the confrontation where he came back into the store, and we'll play these clips for you momentarily. And I saw the FaceTime video that he did with the clerk through one of his workers. And Tyrese, you would suspect with other celebrities that he would be irate or rampant about or totally angry and causing a giant scene in the store. He doesn't. He seems very calm, collected, and respectful, like he wants to handle the matter properly. And he claimed in the video that he stated to the cashier that he had scanned 2 candy bars that he bought, and the rest of the transaction, which is all the building supplies and other things like that, that his coworkers or people that he hired to help renovate this project had. They had the rest of it in the line, and he gave them his ID and credit card so that they could finish the transaction. He decided that he felt the need to leave because he didn't want to cause a scene in the Home Depot, and he felt he was getting recognized by certain people, and he felt that that would have caused a scene or caused some attention. So he decided to go into his car and proceed to go back home to wait for his employees, the people that he hired to do the renovation project, to come back with the materials. But much more was done after he left. The cashier refused to continue the transaction, and then he was called over to come back after he did the FaceTime video call through his employees or contractor's phone to the cashier, explaining the situation, explaining that it's him. I give them, I was already in there. May I please talk to a manager? This, that, and the other. And she was refusing. I don't know per se if it was racial. I don't know. Again, I wasn't there. I was not part of it. I'm just reporting this to you guys. But from what I saw in the video, I don't feel that it was a racial dispute. I think she was, in terms, doing her job as a cashier, but I don't know if she was doing it in the right manner. I mean, if she was already... Actually, I don't even think she was the one checking them out. I think it was another gentleman that was checking them out. And I think she should have been called over ahead of time to assess the situation, like by the other cashier. When Tyrese was getting ready to take off, he should have called her over and said, hey, I am going to let him go. He gave them his credit card and ID so that he can continue paying. That's what I feel that should have happened, but it didn't. Nothing went how it should have in this event. But without further ado, let's play these clips for you now.
Can you please include that information? I was just there. I just walked. I was just in your store, ma'am. If you're going to talk to your manager, tell your manager the truth. I was just in the store, and I gave my guys my credit card in front of your staff and team member, and I walked off. Don't say that I'm not there with no ID. You can pull up the cameras. I was there 5 minutes ago. This is completely unnecessary, what you're doing right now. I'm not answering what?
Do you have a pro account?
Ma'am, should I have the CEO of Home Depot to call you tomorrow? Because he's my neighbor. Is that everything you're getting right there? 3,000? Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. You got it. My ID? Okay. So you're a supervisor, right? What's your name? Corelli? And your last name is what? Why not? Because you work here. And I have a problem with your energy and your unprofessionalism. So what's your last name? Okay. So, ma'am, how long?
Don't consent to being recorded.
What is? How long have you been working here, ma'am? You? I just have a question. How long? 1 year. Okay. Gotcha. So, my problem with what just happened is that I've been living 3 blocks in here for 10 years. And if this is a policy without a pro account, why are you the first person to stop my team and my builder from coming here when I've been coming to this particular Home Depot for 10 years? Make me understand that. If this is a policy and you're the boss and you run this place, why are you the only one doing or living up to the company policy? Explain that to me.
I can explain other people's actions.
You can, because they reflect you. If you're the boss and you're the manager and you say it's company policy to show ID before you swipe a credit card, unless you have a pro account, I'm asking you and your staff and your team, these people all work for you. And you're the supervisor, you're the manager, anything that anybody do as far as their role that may not have the same particular seniority that you have, make me understand, after 10 years of coming to this place, with the same guys swiping for way bigger amounts than this is like the smallest transaction they've done. Make me understand in 10 years why no one has ever asked for ID. You don't know? And you work here. And you're the supervisor. You're the cashier supervisor. Which means that when everybody do all the shopping, they got to come see you before they swipe their card, along with the rest of your team that are cashiers, right? Because if it's a policy, then everybody should be living up to the policy, right? So make me understand after 10 years why this just happened for the first time without a pro account. I've not been to the store. And make me understand how you just seen me and other people that work here just seen me physically in the store. And I was just here. Sir, did you just see me in the store? Sir?
No, I'm not lying. I gave you $20. I remember that.
So how did you barely look at me if I bought 2 candy bars from you and we gave you the scanning machine? You looked at me, and we just did the whole transaction, and I walked out. Are you telling me you've never seen me until right now?
No, I'm not saying that. I just didn't recognize you.
I'm not talking about recognizing me as a celebrity. You did see me, correct? I just want you to confirm that I was just in the store 5 minutes ago.
Because you were there, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I didn't know if it was you that was there. I barely looked at your face.
Okay.
I was bringing all this stuff up, and they were handing you different things, so then you were like, oh, anymore, so I just did it real quick so I could get back to the other. So that's why I didn't get a good look at it.
Regardless, he's still a staff, right?
Okay, so I just called you on FaceTime.
That's not valid form of ID.
No?
No.
That's
A passport or
10
state
years.
ID.
10 years coming. No pro account. I'm just trying to understand how you're the first person to say, here's the company policy and this is what we're not doing. Just trying to understand. And you represent the supervisor cashier. Make me understand how all of these cashiers for the last 10 years have been swiping my credit card without me physically being here with no ID, with no pro. That's the policy. Make me understand. Because them not doing that is not living up to the policy that you're supposed to put in place and keep in place. I'm going to tell you what this feels like. This feels like racism. And I don't pull the race card. This feels like racism. And you're not professional enough to apologize or give us better energy, even though I didn't physically came back. Your staff and employee that works with you and for you as another cashier, he just seen me. I bought 2 candy bars. He looked me in my face. He swiped it, and I walked right out the store. Is that the policy too? Where he's going to use a scanner and pay for two candy bars and let me walk out the store?
You said you were with them.
Exactly right. Which means I never showed you my ID, and I never swiped my credit card, and I walked out with two candy bars. Is that also a policy?
But I saw them nod, like, oh yes.
They nodded.
Yeah.
And I also just called her on the phone, and I showed her my face, told her I was just in the store, and I nodded as well. So why did you let me walk out the store with two candy bars without ID and without swiping my card?
Because that was part of the whole total. I couldn't swipe it for just two things when you were adding it to the
That was the whole total, but you don't even know if my credit card would actually go through. You let me walk out the store without seeing my ID or letting my credit card swipe. Is that company policy? I'm just trying to understand what I don't understand.
I'm not sure if that relates to what.
Don't worry about who I am. I would thank you. They're disrespecting me and my team on purpose. And I'm hamming.
I'm not any different than anybody.
I'm asking you, company policy-wise, because I don't work here. And I didn't make up any of the rules. Do you let people come to Home Depot as a cashier and you scan candy bars or drinks or anything, and you let them walk out the store without paying? That's what I'm asking
If
you.
it was one person alone, no, I wouldn't let them do that.
Okay. I'm good, man. I'm just trying to understand why I'm feeling what I'm feeling.
What happened? I mean, about were you with a customer calling over the phone about the
Yes,
transaction?
that was me.
Yeah. So unfortunately, and I get your point. I mean, your frustration, and I do apologize about that. But she was just following protocols.
Okay, I'm asking about the protocol because I don't work here.
Got it.
So educate me about the protocol. I walked up to this gentleman. I grabbed two candy bars.
Got it.
He scanned it,
Yes.
and I said, "Hey man, they're gonna finish the rest of the transaction. They got my credit card," and I left.
Okay.
I did not pay for my two candy bars.
But you left your credit card to that person?
With them. I was just here with them, and this man just seen me. He scanned. Hold on, let me finish. He scanned my two candy bars. I looked him in his face. They were finishing up the transaction, and I walked out of your store with two candy bars, no ID, and I didn't swipe my card to pay for it. And he let me leave. So then, as I left, sir, they're now here to finish the transaction because irregardless of who I am, I don't like getting attention. And I just started seeing people looking, and I was like, let me go ahead and work my way out. They've been coming in and working with me. They work with me. I don't treat anybody less than. I treat everybody with respect. They've been working with me for 10 years. I have not been in this store in probably 6 years. So I'm asking the supervisor, who won't give me her last name, what is the store policy that you have in place that you're supposed to implement where I'm able to scan two candy bars and walk outside without my ID and without paying for it? And he let me leave. And I'm calling you on FaceTime to say if you have an ID problem and I don't have a pro account, you're looking at me on FaceTime and I'm telling you it's me. And then you're saying the policy is I got to come in here and show my ID. So why did your coworker let me leave with two candy bars with no ID and I didn't swipe a credit card? If that's your policy, that's what I'm asking. If that's your policy, I'm asking you. I don't work here. I'm asking you, what is your policy? Uh-huh. This is a reflection of you. Because you're the cashier supervisor, and then you called your boss to get to the bottom of what's happening. So I'm asking you, as the boss of the cashiers, why did somebody on your team and staff look at me, grab the scanner out of my hand? It was over here. We gave it to him. He was like, hey, man, here. He reached over the wood and the doors and went bloop, bloop, bloop. And I said, hey, man, they're going to take care of the transaction. They got it. I'm out. You're being a racist. And that's the truth. I don't have a racist bone in my body. And you know you got that racist energy all over you because you're not even willing to apologize, fix it, and point out the inconsistencies of what you know and your training and what the policies are. You're wrong. You're wrong, and I want your full name, and I'm going to reach out to the people who own this place, the CEO of Home Depot is my neighbor in Atlanta. Okay? So you don't have to give me a name. I'll figure it out. This is wrong, and people should not be treated this way. And if you got a policy, and you reflect the policy of this place, then the policy should be consistent with everybody that works here. Okay? You don't care, right? Because you don't. He cares. That's why he came out. You're wrong. And I came here to tell you you're wrong, and you're not even willing to apologize. Your co-star and co-worker.
And that concludes our segment of Dos Mocos News through Dos Mocos Podcast. I am Nick. Good day and good night.